Broadcasting live from Israel.
IsraelSportsRadio.com.
Want to feel good about every time you make a credit card purchase? Want to earn valuable travel points while you do it? Then sign up with Hass Advantage. Hass Advantage generates money for 25 Israeli-based charities while at the same time earning valuable reward points. You can use points for all of your favorite electronics, Judaica items, gifts, cash back, and travel rewards, including a trip to Israel. Earn double points at some of your favorite supermarkets and restaurants, as well as discounts all over Israel. If you love traveling and supporting Israel, Hass Advantage is the card for you. Check out the Hass Advantage website, www.hassadvantage.com. Sign up now with the code ISR2000 and earn 2,000 bonus points. Hass Advantage, points with every swipe, pride with every purchase.
Forces are in full flight. We're coming by air and on the ground. Monday Night Football's taking over the town. We gotta get ready. We gotta get right. It's gonna be a battle in the NFL tonight. So get ready. I mean, get ready.
Are you ready for some football? Oh yeah! Welcome, IFL fans! This is the IFL Myra Kraft Radio Hour on Israel Sports Radio. And I am Uriel Storm, the commissioner of the IFL. Glad to have you all with us tonight on a wonderful Monday night here in beautiful Jerusalem. It's getting colder here in Jerusalem, but the football fever is just warming up. Wow, the football season and NFL season is really getting hot. College football season is really getting hot. It looks like we have our national championship game, LSU. Bama, that should be exciting, but that's about a month and a half away. We got great games in the NFL this week, even though it certainly didn't look like it. Didn't really look like it was going to be such great games early on. There weren't too many winning teams games, but you know what? A lot of the early games ended up very, very close. We never know. We found out Tebow is back 5-1 now as a starter. Pretty unbelievable. We found out Matt Leinart is still prone to get injured after playing less than a quarter. But we had two fantastic games in the IFL this weekend. On Thursday night, we had the ISD Jerusalem Kings. That's right, the Kings pull out their first victory of the season to improve their record to 1-1. They pulled out the victory over the expansion Petach Tikva Troopers, a 56-14 affair. Archie Eichhorn, the Jerusalem Kings' first-year quarterback, passed for 2 touchdowns, ran in another 2 touchdowns. He was definitely the star of the game for the Kings, although they got great contributions from Ari Washbort, who pitched in with a touchdown. Yaakov Garfinkel pitched in with a touchdown. A lot of the veterans and the rookies are really making an impact on the Kings. Ephraim Schwartz pitched in with a number of chain-moving runs and another touchdown on the ground. He definitely, but Archie Eichhorn, 7 rushes, 88 yards on the ground, 2 touchdowns, passed for 170 yards, 2 touchdowns. He did throw a pick. But the Kings, when it's all said and done, are now looking good atop the South Division, tied with the Beersheba Black Swarm. The Black Swarm once again beat the Kings in the first week of the season, but the Kings came back with gusto with the first victory. 1-1 Kings, 0-1 Petach Tikva Troopers. The Troopers, nothing to sneeze at. They came out. They scored 2 touchdowns. They it was 18-6, and then the Kings just sort of ran away with it at the end of the half. But there are a lot of positives for the Troopers to move back. Again, most of the Troopers players a year ago had never put on football pads in their lives. Not a bad showing for the Troopers. They're still to have a home game, so, they're waiting for their home game. Their first home game is coming up in about 2 weeks' time. I'm sure Petach Tikva is going to be thrilled to welcome football. It's an exciting game, and I'm sure the Troopers are going to be up for the task by the time they host their first home game in 2 weeks. In the second game of the weekend, on Saturday night, we had a real close matchup between the Versailles Hatikva Hammers. We were out in the Shchunat Hatikva at Beit Dani, beautiful new stadium. And the Hatikva Hammers pulled out the 32-10 victory over the Be'er Sheva Black Swarm. The Hammers are a second-year club. The Be'er Sheva Black Swarm are a third-year club. In many ways, these two teams typify the future of the IFL. Two teams coming in from predominantly Israeli players getting together saying we want to play football. Yes, they're interspersed with a couple of players who may have experience or in Israel, but 90% of both these rosters are stocked with Israeli players, Sabra players, if you will. And they put on a show for us. The development is evident on a weekly basis when you watch these two teams. Adi Tota, the quarterback of the Hammers, threw for 91 yards and a pair of touchdowns. He did throw a pick, although it came on a 2-point conversion, so it was somewhat inconsequential. It just nullified their chances of getting the 2 points. But as the rules go in the IFL, that is an automatic end of play. We have Shabi Shavit, the rookie of the year last year in the IFL. Carried the ball 19 times for 82 yards and a pair of TDs. He's becoming the definition of a real workhorse back. Every down back, he plays at least 3-4 downs every set, if they're going for 4. Fullback Koren Shemesh pounds out the extra yards when Shavit needs a rest. Yaron Aloni also got a number of carries. But the Hammers are looking good. Roy Rubenstein and Liran Galili both pulled in touchdowns receiving. They recovered 3 touchdowns and had a pair of interceptions. Erez Maman had an interception, a great interception that he almost returned for a touchdown. I know he believed there was a touchdown and he stretched the ball over the line. But, yeah, he did not. And the refs called it down at the 1, and they scored a touchdown on the next play anyways, one of Shavit's touchdowns. So the Hammers didn't get a team pulling out the 32-10 victory, although it was at home. And we all know what it's like to travel on the road in the IFL. Some treacherous road warriors. We're going up this weekend. We have a pair of games in the north, but we'll get to those. We're still focusing on last week's games. Second weekend in the IFL. Koren Cohn, the quarterback of the Be'er Sheva Black Swarm, didn't have his best day. Only 5 of 23 in the air. Brandon McDougall also was held. 24 yards rushing. He did have a touchdown on a 3-yard reception, but generally Brandon McDougall held quiet, which was quite a feat in itself by that Tikva Hammers defense. We had a 41-year-old score a touchdown. Gilad Shoam, number 58 on that Tikva Hammers. 41-year-old, I think that set a record in the IFL, although Yona Mishon, Aryeh Bauman, some of the other elder statesmen of our league, any of the Murdoch brothers, particularly Guy Murdoch, if you're interested in coming back and resetting your record for the oldest player to score an IFL touchdown, I'm sure the Pioneers will be glad to have you. But all in all, 2 games that maybe the scoreline were separated by more than a couple scores, but the excitement level in the IFL stays high every week. Once again, you can call in, and I believe we have a caller. Hi,
how you doing?
Who's there? This is Ben Block. Ben.
Oriel, how you doing?
It's a pleasure to hear from you. And we miss you here at Kraft Stadium. We miss you in the IFL. What's going on out there in rainy Seattle?
Oh, what's going on out there in rainy Seattle? I have an insurance company that wants documentation from Maccabi that they're not going to give me before I can do my knee. That's what's going on. So I have a question.
Any question?
What was the difference? What was the difference in the Kings' play during last Thursday's game versus their previous game against Be'er Sheva?
Look, they were playing right off the bat they were playing a different team. So it's not like they went up against the same team and a team that they lost to 30-12 a week earlier, they now beat 56-14. But I will say last week when they only scored 12 points, Archie Eichhorn, it was his first game. Yeah, he had a decent game then also. But they came up against a hardcore running back, Brandon McDougald from the Black Swarm, scored a pair of touchdowns. And yeah, they just, I would say this, the Kings are definitely improving on a weekly basis. The Kings have a roster, Ben, of over 45 people. You wouldn't believe it. You remember some of your practices out there last year, and every practice the Kings have at least 25 guys out there in pads ready to go. So, but with new players, as you know, comes a whole learning curve. And the learning curve is very steep. 1 week,
I might know a thing or two about that.
they lost 60-2 in the preseason. Then they only lost 30-12 in the first game of the regular season. Now they won 56-14 in their third game. So you know what? So far, the Kings have a lot to be positive about. I'm sure they're thinking, we're going to have a great season. We're on the upward trend. We're 1-1. Their next game is against the Lions next Thursday night. That should be an interesting game. And then they're playing the Rebels following that in the Hanukkah Bowl. So the Kings have a pair of very tough games coming up. But, there's a lot of optimism. They have a number of new players that I'm sure are going to be impact players. They are missing you both on the sideline and on the field. But, yeah, you know what they say, next man up. And look, the defense is looking good. Notice is out there. He's playing good defense. They have a number of new players. Ephraim Wolf is doing really well. Yitzchak Landau is really noticed. These names are jumping out of the stat sheet as I look at it. CZ Klinger. So yeah, they're really. They had last week 7 sacks. So if you compile 7 sacks, if you're putting pressure on the quarterback, as they all say, the game of football is won at the line. If the other team's line doesn't have enough chance to protect the quarterback, then you're in a good position right off the bat. And I think that's what we're seeing from the Kings right now.
So let me ask you another question.
Anything.
When I started out in the league, it was mostly Americans. When I was at Kraft, whether it was for our practice or Big Blue would also practice at the same time, the Rebels. When I had left, it was all Hebrew. What's the difference in the game now that it's almost all Israelis playing versus a lot of your American expats? What's the difference on the field?
The difference on the field, look, as more and more teams come in, we're getting to the situation where there's a big gap almost between some of the teams. If you put a team like the Troopers against a team like the Rebels or the Lions or the Pioneers or the Sabres, it's almost an unfair matchup walking in. And I don't say that as an insult to the Troopers. I say that as a reality check to a league where you have teams that have people who have been playing even for 4 years together as opposed to people who have been playing for 1 year the sport of football. And in terms of the expats, the more the Israelis play, I would say an Israeli in our league who's played for 4 years is in not much different a position than someone who played football for 2 or 3 years in the States, who's now in their first or second year of the IFL. I think a guy like Joe Martitius has gotten more experience from playing IFL football than he did before he came here. And a lot of his game reflects his development here in Israel. And I think Joe isn't even a good example. You look at a guy on the Pioneers I'll pull up the Pioneers, and you look at a guy, let's say like a Zeev Williams. He learned how to play football here. And he's improved every year. You look at a guy like Tal Murdoch. He could play line in the States. He's improved his game here. You look at Ronnie Moscona, a cornerback safety. He picks up interceptions all the time. These are guys that have developed their game here. So I don't think it's as much the expats playing. I think it's as much the experience that all the players in our league have. People have played a couple of years of football, but it's different when you get older and you're in a team mentality that the coaching has also improved. And coaching now is a very big reflection of the team's preparation for games. You see teams don't walk in there figuring out their game plans then. They figure out their game plans in practice. They have their coaches thinking about their game plans probably even more than they should. And that's good. That's what football needs. You know, football coaches are probably as overworked as any profession. They sit there, and that's their own doing. They can't get out of their office. From every level of football, from Pee-wee to high school to college to the NFL, the coaches, it's a 24/7 job, 365 days a year, because there's never enough to analyze. And that's something that's happening now in the IFL. And the more preparation that's being done on and off the field, the more that the product on the field is demonstrating that.
Sure. All right, so one more question, then I'll let you go.
And, you know, you should stay on. You know, we have
graduated from the high school season last season. Are we seeing any of them playing in the IFL?
We are. We have on each team, we have a couple of players like that. I know we have on the Rebels, we have Dudi Eliraz playing. I know on the Sabres, we have Amit Twig playing. We have Avia Shermak is still playing. He's an IFL veteran, but he's now on the Pioneers. We have, we have Amir Balva playing on the Tikva Hammers. So yes, there's definitely, as the high school players get older, where they're starting to stock the rosters of our senior team. And last year was only, as you know, the first year of the high school league. It's only going to grow. This year we have 8 teams in the high school league. And so by next year there's going to be more and more high school players. Yes, we do lose players because of the Army, but we do have the advantage that whereas 3-4 years ago, everyone just had to start from scratch. Now these guys will come back from the Army with a passion for football and with bringing more of their friends. And that's what we're trying to build here. Sports in this country and a new sport in this country, and we think it's catching on. And, you know, Ben, we miss that you're not a part of it. Hopefully you'll be back here soon.
That's awesome.
Thanks a million, Ben. And we got to take a break.
My
producer is telling me. But
Big Ben, we love you. Come back soon, please.
Yes, Ben, we do miss you. Between you and Andy leaving, it's quite a large size shoes to fill.
Oh, I'm sure somebody can run Kraft Stadium.
Nah, well, there are some. You know, it's the whole package, Ben. But just after the break, you should stay on. We have last year's MVP of the IFL, this year's Michigan Wolverines quarterback, coming off the high of an OSU victory for the first time after 7 straight losses. Alex Swiecka will be on right after the break.
You're already using a credit card every day. Why not feel good every time you make a purchase? When using the HAS Advantage Support Israel Visa card, a percentage of each purchase you make will be donated to your choice of 24 Israeli-based charities, while still earning a reward point for every dollar spent. But wait, these rewards are even better than the standard rewards you get, especially when using them towards Israel travel, with the best conversion rate on El Al's Matmeed Frequent Flyer program. Earn double points at some of your favorite supermarkets and restaurants in the U.S., as well as discounts all over Israel. If you love traveling and supporting Israel, HAS Advantage is the card for you. Just give us a call toll-free at 1-866-6-ISRAEL. Sign up right now with the code ISR10 to earn 2,500 bonus points. That's 1-866-647-7235. HAS Advantage. Earn rewards. Support Israel. Offer valid for U.S. citizens only. Terms and conditions do apply. When dialing from within Israel, please dial 1-800-200-818.
DJ Venom, DJ Venom, DJ Venom, DJing parties throughout Israel, birthday parties, weddings, club events, bar mitzvahs, bat mitzvahs, and much more. You pick the type of music and DJ Venom will turn your event into the party of the year. Available Sunday through Thursday. Call 052-952-6506 or email djvenom1984@yahoo.com. That's 052-952-6506 or email djvenom1984@yahoo.com. Book your party today. That's DJ Venom.
Are you living in the Tel Aviv area and looking to achieve those fitness goals that seem out of reach? If so, personal trainer Leon Kessler is just one call away. Leon will teach, coach, advise, supervise, and support you so that you are able to accomplish your fitness goals. One call to 050-792-2434 will put your goals in reach. That's 050-792-2434, or click on the Leon Kessler banner on the Israel Sports Radio website and see what Leon can do for you.
And welcome back to the Myra Kraft IFL show with Uriel Sturm on Israel Sports Radio. Joining us now is a very, very special guest. He never got the chance to fully enjoy this honor while he was in Israel, and I apologize for that, but he definitely exhilarated us through all of last season, and he's continuing to excite us online and soon hopefully on television with his exploits in his new uniform. Joining us now is the reigning IFL MVP, Alex Swiecka. How are you, Alex?
How are you, Uriel? Good.
I'm great. How are you still hungover from this weekend's celebration?
Yeah. It was a great weekend. We got Sunday off for the first time in a while. Usually we have practice on Sundays, so Saturday obviously was incredible, running onto the field and everything.
Alex, there's so much I want to ask you. I guess I want to start from the beginning. Last year, you played in the IFL. Take us through the process of playing in the IFL to joining the Michigan Wolverines.
It's obviously very different. And
how did it happen?
It's a lot.
Meaning you went home, you said, I want to play football, and I want to continue playing football, and you were going to Michigan. So what did you do? You got a coach and you practiced, or how did you make yourself known to them?
I pretty much I sent in my tape, my highlight tape that I had done from the season, and I sent it in to the coaches, and someone who was friends, who knew the coach, the offense coordinator, gave him the tape, let him see it, and he gave me an opportunity.
I don't think people have an appreciation of how much work it goes into to actually it's not just getting out there and throwing a football. Tell us a little bit about the conditioning it takes.
Oh yeah. It's totally different than how it probably was 15 years ago. How football was, where the quarterbacks just threw, the running backs run, and how now it's a totally different era. It doesn't matter if you're a kicker, you're a long snapper. We're going through the same lifting as everyone else, the same running. I have to personally, the toughest part for me is running with there's different levels of running. So I run with the quarterbacks, the wide receivers, and the running backs, the skill group, and they have to make it in the fastest times, one of the fastest times on the team. So for me, that's personally the hardest thing.
How many times a week are you practicing?
What?
How many times a week do you guys practice?
We practice 3-4 times a week. Tuesdays, Wednesdays, and Thursdays. We have from 2 to 6. A lot of film study, practice time, and then we have lifting. I have lifting on Friday mornings at 5 a.m., which is the hardest lift, 2 hours. And then we have lifting another morning, Tuesday morning at 6 a.m. And then, for example, this weekend I didn't get to go home for Thanksgiving because obviously we had the game. And then we have December break coming up, which I don't think I'm going to have vacation because we're going away. Everyone on the team goes to the bowl game, which is obviously very exciting.
How much of a culture change is it? You're really a Wolverine now. That takes up how much of your life?
It's definitely, I say, they expect you, when you join this team, you're making a commitment where that's, your priority, and your academics, they stress that, and everything else is secondary.
Do they have people there helping you guys with academics and focusing on that part of things as well as the football aspects?
Yeah, there's a whole athletic center, academic center for the athletes, and they offer tutoring and guidance and everything. So obviously it's a lot harder when you don't have much time to do work, but they help you. They help you a lot to make sure to manage, because obviously they need you guys. They want us to pass. They want us to do well. We also get drug tested as well. I got drug tested twice already.
Really? How? What?
Yeah.
What was the drug test like?
It's just a peanut cup.
Peanut cup. And okay, so no blood tests, no nothing like that. It's just peanut cup.
I mean, before I joined the team, there was a lot of a million forms I had to sign, a million different things, and I had to take blood testing. I had to take a physical, everything.
Uh-huh. Wow. So it's really a rigorous process.
Yes. Yeah,
Take us. How much has your game changed, would you say, since we last saw you on the field here in Jerusalem?
I think definitely my footwork has gotten much better. Just because we practice, even every day. I mean, obviously I was on a shotgun most of the time in Israel, and my 3-step, 5-step drops were not great because I didn't practice that.
Right.
But now here, when I'm practicing every day, and just being around the type of talent, it just obviously elevates your game.
Do you sometimes just sit back with your mouth open and say, wow, like, look who I'm playing with and against and in the same stadiums of, and is it a little overwhelming at times?
Sometimes. I mean, sometimes, but it's the same game that it was in Israel. It's the same game that these kids come from small high schools. It's the same game. It's just everything's a little bit bigger. The guys are a little bit bigger. The field, the field is the same, but for me, obviously I'm still adjusting to the 100-yard field. It's fine for me. It's just getting still adjusted to it.
Where do you sit on the depth chart?
There's quarterbacks, including me.
How many? 6?
There's 7 of us.
7 of you. Okay. And do you get snaps in practice, or how does that work?
I do. I don't take snaps against the starting defense in terms of. I work with a scout team,
Okay.
but when we have our 7-on-7s and individual don't need a quarterback, I work usually with the linebackers, and I replicate what the some option plays that the other quarterback that we're playing that week would do, and things of that sort. And I'd help
How much
balls
does
for what?
How much do you have to do video work to actually learn the tactics of the opposing quarterbacks that you're supposed to simulate and stuff like that?
We watch some video on the scout team every day when we have before practice. We prepare for practice, so we'll have a meeting with the quarterbacks and a quarterback coach, who's also the offense coordinator, Coach Borges, and he'll go over the game plan for that week, and then we'll be split up to individual coaches. But I'll go with the scout team, and we'll watch the team that we're playing, the offense that we're playing against that week.
Nice. So this week we have the Lions playing the Rebels here. Compare that a little bit to the feeling of in the big house between Ohio State.
I wish I was there to play in that game, obviously.
Compare the feeling of, I guess, winning last year against the.
I can't really hear you.
Compare the feeling of winning last year in the semifinals against the Lions to beating Ohio State this past weekend.
The Lions and Rebels game. I'll tell you this: when I remember running onto the field for that game. After we won. Can you hear me, Uriel?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Yeah, I don't know why it's low on your end. I can't hear that well.
How about now?
But so I remember running out to the field. Obviously, you remember that night that we beat the Lions in an epic comeback.
Yeah, you guys are down 17 points.
What?
You guys were down 17 points with 7 minutes left.
Down 18.
Down 18.
Down 18 points going to the fourth quarter with about 7 minutes left. We just came back. Everything, kind of every domino that could go our way went our way for the last 7 minutes, and we came out strong. We won the game. Now the game that we just had at Ohio State versus Michigan was they came out. We were practicing all week, getting ready. We've been saying this since January. The guys have been saying this, beat Ohio every day. We say beat Ohio. And in the beginning of the game, they came out and they scored they scored first on the opening drive. But our team, I think, over the season has matured in the resiliency. It didn't set us back whatsoever.
Hey, Alex,
we got better as the game wore on.
Hey, Alex, this is Ari Lewis. How you doing, man?
How are you, Ari?
Hey, doing great. Now, on behalf of Andy Gershman and myself, we need to eat a tremendous amount of crow because for those of you out there listening who don't know, Alex was our intern last year from Young Judea, and you came in week 1 and said you're going to be the starting quarterback of the Rebels. Me and Andy laughed at you because you were going to take the place of Johnny Joe. We thought you were insane. And then we saw you in the preseason whipping balls 60, 80 yards with ease, and we're like, oh, okay. And then you went on to win the MVP, and throughout your internship with us, you mentioned going to Michigan and playing quarterback, and we again laughed at you, but we were wrong. So on behalf of Andy, I'm here to say we were wrong, and I apologize.
You guys aren't the first guys.
Very nice. But talk about that. You're dreaming big. You're a big dreamer. I love that. I should be the last person to knock that type of dream down. So, again, I'm sorry. But how do you go about that when you have all these imaginations of being successful on a very high level and people like myself and Andy say, hey, man, you can't do it. You're crazy. It's not going to work. How do you take us to the side, the naysayers, and just focus on what you got to do?
Well, I think that, since the beginning, before even, it's about having confidence in my abilities. And everyone's, obviously I'm coming from a different route. I look at it as I'm coming from a different route, but obviously there are kids who play, one of the other quarterbacks on Michigan, he's a freshman, highly recruited. He played in Texas. He's been playing football, tackle football since he's 8 years old. So, obviously, I'm coming from a different situation, and I've always had I always had football in me. I always had it in me, and I needed an opportunity, and where what more perfect to have the opportunity than in Israel, where that's obviously my homeland, and I just feel like this last couple of years just all came together the way it had to come together for me to have an opportunity to be in this situation right now. Because that's the hardest part. That's not the hardest part. Once I get here, now I have to do my best to keep on going, because it's constant grind, it's constant struggle. But I just try to focus on what I need to do, and know that this is the opportunity. God gave me this opportunity for a reason, and that there aren't many Jewish kids who are doing this, so that fuels me.
Alex, a couple more questions. What is your next dream? Where do you see this going? Do you see yourself starting one day for the Wolverines? Do you see yourself being the backup? Do you see yourself taking this to the next level professionally? What is your dream? And your realistic dream, and maybe give us 2 versions of that dream.
Well, on a realistic level, obviously I'm in a very competitive environment with a lot of amazing talent that is constantly coming in. But for me, I wanted to come here. My dream was to really. I've always longed for that coaching. The program, and the reason I really wanted to come here to Michigan was to have an opportunity to really truly maximize my talents. You know, I've always played football on my raw talents, and I've done pretty well. But when you talk about going to a higher level, you need to really refine that talent. So mainly I wanted to put myself in the best opportunity where I could get the best coaching, the best physical training, to put myself at a higher level. Of my main focus right now is to get into the best possible shape I can, and then really continue working on my throwing mechanics, on my footwork, on my decision making, in terms of all that. So I really one day would want to try to make the travel team as a third string quarterback, and travel with the team and be that third guy, because anything could happen then. It's obviously it's a hard. They usually take only scholarship quarterbacks, but you know it can't hurt to try.
No, that's one thing you've definitely taught us all, Alex. One last question, and I'll let you go. What message would you give to the rest of the players here in Israel about what we have going on here in our league? I know some of our players and some of our fans think, it's football, but it's not real football. It's 8-on-8. It's this, it's that. It's players who haven't played before. What would you tell the players in our league about what we have going on in our league? You've seen a little bit bigger spectrum now to have a little bit better perspective.
I think, first of all, football in Israel is a great thing. It's a great thing. And football, number one, football is football. Tackle football is tackle football. It doesn't matter if it's played in Israel. It doesn't matter if it's played in the middle of the United States in some random town. It's football. There are big guys in that league. In the Israel, there are big guys in the league. Now, I think that guys if guys take it more seriously, then the league is only as good as the players want it to be. I mean, I know there are a lot of kids that come in for 1 year like me who never had the opportunity to play tackle football, come there, and then I know there's a kid on the Rebels right now who wants to try out for Florida International University, and another kid wants to try for community college. So I think that it should be, people should take it seriously. People should take the league seriously. And if they take it seriously and they improve every year, that's what's important. We never want to go backward, in the league. We always want to keep going forward. Obviously, with the high school leagues, it's great that kids from Israel are getting to learn the game from a younger age, so that by the time they're 18, 19 years old, they could go and play football. While I don't know if it fits with the Army, but you know what I mean.
We're working on it.
I think that is very important, honestly. I think that is very important. I think that it'll help kids, like in America, football does help kids stay out of trouble in terms of having a lot more time, where football takes up time. And obviously, there are a lot of guys in the league that have the number one thing, honestly, with the league, what I've seen so far, is to try to work out all the bullshit aside and try to play football and try to play at the highest possible level. Obviously, you have to go through the hardships of straightening all that out. But I mean, that's the number one thing, that everyone's there together. It's a national league. It's not anyone can play. There's 6 million people in Israel, right?
Yeah.
There's 6 million people in Israel. You're talking about anyone could play at 6 million people at any age. There has to be talent there. Okay? There has to be guys who are extreme, who are great at soccer, who learn the game. It's a pretty simple game when it comes to just playing football, not at this kind of level where there's a lot more X's and O's and technique-wise, but that's what I want to. I want to see the league do well. I want to see the league grow. I love. I mean, it was definitely the best year of my life playing in Israel and everything else that I did.
Alex, you want to see the league do well. We want to see you do well. Thank you so much for joining us. Again, Alex Swiecka, the reigning MVP of the IFL. Last year, 27 touchdowns to 1 interception. Led his team to a crazy comeback in the semifinals. Again, led his team, powered them to victory in the finals. Israel Bowl champions, the Judean Rebels. Alex Swiecka, we look forward to hearing great things from you, and we look forward to having you on the show soon. Enjoy the experience and keep dreaming.
Thank you very much, Uriel. I hope to see you next time I come to Israel.
Please God.
How's the league doing?
The league's doing great. You know, we're just getting the season's revving up again. It's just the third week coming up this weekend. We have Lions Rebels highlighting this weekend's action, so it's going to be a really exciting weekend here in Israel. And you should enjoy the time preparing for the bowl game, and it should be an exciting month for you as well. And study a little bit also, and have as much fun as you can in college, Alex.
All right, thank you, Uriel. I hope to find out I hope to see the Rebels victory over the Lions again.
Green and orange
Keep it going.
and maize and blue match quite well together in your case. Thanks a lot, Alex.
Thank you, Alex. Have a good one, man.
No problem. All right, I'll talk to you soon.
We got to go for break. We'll be back with Ofri Becker right after this commercial.
You're already using a credit card every day. Why not feel good every time you make a purchase? When using the HAS Advantage Support Israel Visa card, a percentage of each purchase you make will be donated to your choice of 24 Israeli-based charities, while still earning a reward point for every dollar spent. But wait, these rewards are even better than the standard rewards you get, especially when using them towards Israel travel, with the best conversion rate on El Al's Matmeed frequent flyer program. Earn double points at some of your favorite supermarkets and restaurants in the U.S., as well as discounts all over Israel. If you love traveling and supporting Israel, HAS Advantage is the card for you. Just give us a call toll-free at 1-866-6-ISRAEL. Sign up right now with the code ISR10 to earn 2,500 bonus points. That's 1-866-647-7235. HAS Advantage. Earn rewards. Support Israel. Offer valid for U.S. citizens only. Terms and conditions do apply. When dialing from within Israel, please dial 1-800-200-818.
DJ Venom, DJ Venom, DJ Venom, DJing parties throughout Israel, birthday parties, weddings, club events, bar mitzvahs, bat mitzvahs, and much more. You pick the type of music and DJ Venom will turn your event into the party of the year. Available Sunday through Thursday. Call 052-952-6506 or email djvenom1984@yahoo.com. That's 052-952-6506 or email djvenom1984@yahoo.com. Book your party today. That's DJ Venom.
Are you living in the Tel Aviv area and looking to achieve those fitness goals that seem out of reach? If so, personal trainer Leon Kessler is just one call away. Leon will teach, coach, advise, supervise, and support you so that you are able to accomplish your fitness goals. One call to 050-792-2434 will put your goals in reach. That's 050-792-2434 or click on the Leon Kessler banner on the Israel Sports Radio website and see what Leon can do for you.
Offering the best of Israel at the best price, Shalom Israel Tours can help you make your next trip to Israel the adventure of a lifetime. Shalom Israel Tours will customize a trip to Israel for your family or group. Specializing in bar mitzvah packages, outdoor adventure vacations, wine tours, and more, Shalom Israel Tours is sure to inspire. So whether you're looking for a customized trip, a day tour, or a car rental, Shalom Israel Tours is here to help. Email us at inspire@shalomisraeltours.com or click the banner on the Israel Sports Radio homepage, and soon you will find yourself in Israel. That's Shalom Israel Tours, www.shalomisraeltours.com.
And welcome back. This is Uriel Sturm on the Myra Kraft IFL show on Israel Sports Radio. Joining us now on the phone is one of the pioneers of football in Israel, following up another huge Michigan fan we have here to follow up Alex Swiecka. one of our head referees, one of the first guys to bring football to this country, one of the fathers of the IFL, Ofri Becker. Welcome to the show.
Hi, Uriel, and hi, Ari, and you're doing a great show till now. I listened to Alex. I'm so excited. Really, I mean, that's...
It really does show.
This is a life story for me, Alex Wieka, because if you take my life story where I grew up in Ann Arbor, Michigan, fell in love with American football over there, and then, in fact, when I was a student in my university days, I played just, backyard football, and then I brought it to Tel Aviv, and we started playing, and then suddenly, on the 5th year of the league, the MVP of the Israeli league goes to Michigan, my team, and now he's wearing the winged helmet and the maize and blue, and they beat Ohio State. I mean, if somebody was making a movie of that, we would say, yeah, kitschy, sticky. The next thing is he's going to be beating Ohio State on his senior year and then drafted to the New England Patriots and going back to Robert Kraft. So, this is huge.
The ending is yet to be written in his case.
Excuse me?
The ending has yet to be written in the Alex Wieka story.
Yeah, right. I mean, everything is going just wonderful there, and it's so exciting to follow, and, I've been in touch with him, and suddenly I'm in touch with a Michigan quarterback. I mean,
look, as exciting as it is for him and for us to be proud of him, it also does speak to our league. Last year was his first year of tackle football. He had never played tackle football in equipment before in his life. He had played flag football. He had always played football. He had played pickup football his whole life, and he had been part of flag football leagues, serious flag football leagues, even contact. But he had never put on the pads and played tackle football, experienced the game, and from there, from our league to where he is today in one season is, yes, a testament to him, but it also, I think, reflects very well and positively on what we're doing. And as he said, football is football, wherever you're playing it. And we have a league that is really flourishing. It's developing on a weekly basis, as you see in some of the new teams. What's your prognosis this year, Ofri, on the state of the IFL on the field?
Well, first of all, like you said before in this show, there's a learning curve. You see that the teams are learning, players are learning from year to year, from game to game. And like you said, the differences between the veteran teams today, the strong veteran teams, and the new two teams that we have, we saw it even in the preseason. It's a huge difference today. And that just tells you, in fact, how much they learn all the time from these 3 or 4 or 5 years the teams have been playing. And the prognosis is that it's going to continue. I mean, teams will continue learning. The roasters will be more and more experienced. And we're going to see better and better football all the time. And it will be harder for new teams to get into the league because of that. And we're experiencing it right now, and we talked about it offline already. It's an issue today. We had a lot of thoughts of maybe doing all kinds of changes in the IFL according to that, but it's not trivial to do. So we'll have to think of things of how to do that in the future. Maybe, I don't know, maybe put some conditions on teams that want to join, put harder conditions to join the league, or maybe divide it into two different leagues in the future, like an upper league, a lower league. I don't know. In soccer they do it, and in all kinds of sports they do it, and it's just natural. I don't know exactly how it's going to work in football, and I don't have the right idea right now, the optimal way of organizing everything, but we'll have to think about that. It's not trivial anymore.
Look, growth in general is always a tricky thing to manage properly, and we're trying to do that, and yet there are mistakes that we make at every step of the way. But so far, I think that we are headed in a direction where the sport is catching on here. Both at the youth level, we're getting new teams, but even at the senior level, we're reaching people that have wanted to play football and are now knowing that it exists here. And fewer people that you speak to, their reactions aren't, oh, there's football here. It's, oh, I want to play football, and they come to us a lot now. So that is, it's a nice thing to deal with, except as you said, it comes along with having to develop properly, and developing new teams is a difficult task for any new teams. The coaches, I think as a ref, you've even noticed the coaching has played a bigger role in our league over the past couple of years.
Yes, of course. And you can see today that teams are looking for coaches which are more and more experienced. For example, take the Tel Aviv Pioneers that brought Coach Falvey from the United States, and you can see the coaches among other teams which are getting to be more and more experienced as well. And like John Sharon, what he has done with the Sabres, and Batala, what he's doing with the Rebels, and they're getting more and more experienced. They're getting more and more professional, in fact, because to be a head coach in American football, I once compared it like to being the chief of staff. I mean, you have a whole staff of people that you have to manage, and you have to give them authority and responsibility, and it's a whole thing that has to play together like an orchestra, and you have to change the teams on the field and do the substitutions on time and do your plays and everything. And they are understanding it more and more, and it gives them advantages as they become more experienced, and they know more things, and they have more tools on what to do on the field and off the field. So it's great. It's wonderful seeing it develop like this, and I agree with you. We are on the right path on that, and it's just getting more and more exciting and complicated, and more and more towards the professional level. I mean, we will never probably be an NFL, but it's still getting more and more towards the level which we can say it's more and more professional.
I guess, yes. Look, professional is a dangerous word to use in amateur sports. And look, even just in terms of, I think there's two things that we have to recognize. There's one, the development of playing the sport in the country, and two, the development of the presentation of this sport as an entity in this country, and the marketing of the sport in this country, and the branding and the league type of thing. And that's a little bit of a different thing than developing football players or developing a love of football in playing the sport. And those are, I think, are two different paths that we are going down, and two different aspects of the development of the league that we're sort of, the teams are developing, and the talent and the players are coming in, but the league is also developing, and some of our television partnerships that we're coming up with, and some of our new media partners, even Israel Sports Radio joined last year, they're all reflections of a development not of on the playing field, but a development of the sport in the country as a real entity, as being a known entity for sports fans. And I think that's important also. I don't know if that's something that will come first, or what has to come first or second.
Well, Uriel, first of all, they're not independent things. I mean, the level of play, the level that the teams play on the field is something that reflects also how you can market this, because marketing is not enough, is never enough. I mean, you can market something and make it as beautiful as you want to, but if the level of play does not justify the firecrackers that you're selling, then people will get disappointed. I mean, they will say, well, they sold it to us as if it's like an NFL, and then we come and see, and it's like less than high school or something like that. But it's not like this, of course. I'm just giving an example, but it goes together. That's what I say. I mean, the level you market it has to do something with the level of play on the field. And you know it. I mean, you go step by step. You don't jump over your belly button like we say in Hebrew. I mean, when your league is at this level, you sell it maybe one level upwards. When it goes one level upward, you sell it one more level upward. And it goes like that, probably. It goes together. I think marketing also pulls the league towards something. I mean, when people see that people are coming to see them, players feel that more and more people are coming to watch them on the field, it gives them more excitement, more passion to play the game, more passion to win, more passion to show people that I am the best, you know. The thing they go on to the field with, like, increases, and it goes together, and it will continue to go together, I'm sure, because the trend has been like that from year to year, and like you said, we're In fact, we're taking people out of their houses. They didn't know there was football here. Now they know. Now they know that they can play. And we do have some talents in this league that already are developing their talent. And I think they can all take the example from Alex Swiek and see that to dream is not a curse. I mean, you can be a dreamer and you can fulfill your dreams and go forward, and sky's the limit in what we can do here in that.
One last question, and I'll let you go, Ofri. What have been some of the new developments and training methods for some of the refs this year, and have there been an influx of new refs into the league?
First of all, there have been three new referees that came into the league this year, and they're all learning. And we did give them some practice in the preseason. We put them off the field to watch, and we just put them near another referee. We had a few meetings of workshops on rules, on cases, on video. We have our community, we have a closed community on the internet in which we can discuss a lot of issues. After every game, the head referee writes a whole report on the game, on what were the certain issues that were like a dilemma or something like that, and people put their ideas on that and what we should have done, or did we do it right, or what to do mechanically next time when this happens, how to do it better, and so on. So there's a lot of things that we do in order to improve. I can just tell you that just today I've been looking at 3 videos from IFL games lately played, that there were 2 or 3 cases in which there was kind of a dilemma of what happened over there and what the call should have been. And I looked at them and I gave my opinion into that community. I'm not going to say, of course, which cases and what was my opinion and were they right or wrong. But in most cases, they are right, I would say. But anyway, this also, all the time, when we do that all the time, this improves us. This gives us the opportunity to learn, to teach each other, to learn from each other, to learn from cases and be experienced all together. I think also that the fact that we managed to have almost consistent refereeing crews. In the north, for example, we have a crew of 4 that only the head ref is changing every time, but the whole crew is there together. That gives them better experience together, the mechanics, the mutual mechanics between the other officials. That's very good. And to tell the truth, I feel that we are so much improved compared to years before. I mean, if we compare today to the first or second year of the league, we've learned so much, and we know so many, small rules. There's so many small rules in football that on the first or second year people were not really familiar with, and they were less important, of course, but still, I mean, the cases happen and you have to give a decision. And so we learned from decision to decision, from call to call. And today I can say that there are at least 5 or 6 refs who are really, really, really good in all the rules and know and understand all the, the small calls and everything. And the others are good as well, but they're learning and they're improving and they have people to learn from. And this is awesome as well. I mean,
thanks a lot, Ofri. We really got to get going. There's only 3 minutes left in the show, but we appreciate your insights as always, and we look forward to speaking to you on many future shows. Ofri Becker.
Great show, and go blue, and wishing for Alex Swieka to make it next year.
Thanks a lot, Ofri. Thanks for joining us. And we are coming upon the end of the IFL show on Israel Sports Radio, and we had messages about the IFL High School League, and I'd like to just give a quick update as we say goodbye to this week's show. The High School League, the second year of the High School League, will be starting with 8 teams. The schedule draft will be out next week. The preseason will start at the end of December. The regular season will start in January. 8 teams, 5 returning teams, 3 from Jerusalem. We have the Boyer Predators, the Liata Rhinos, and the Orly Print Ravens. Then we have the Kfar Saba Hawks, the Kiryat Ono Wolves. We have the Renana is joining the team. We have Beersheva has a team, and Haifa has a team. So we have 3 new teams joining the league, Renana, Beersheva, and Haifa. It's going to be a fantastic season. We're looking for coaches. We have a budget even a little bit to pay coaches. We're hoping to get equipment out. We have equipment in the country for purchase. I know some of the suppliers are renting. You could contact ISD or Yair Cohn at Football Israel. Just Google International Sports Dynamics or Football Israel, and you will come up with plenty of places to buy gear. But we're looking for new players, new teams. It's going to be a really thrilling and exciting league, exciting gear for youth football. Coaches, please come out. We have so many former players in the IFL that help out. We have coaches that just don't have time to play, but they really want to help. It's going to be thrilling. Thanks as always. And this weekend, we have to look forward to a triple header. We have Lions Rebels. Lions Rebels, everyone. Who's going to win? The Lions or the Rebels? Thursday night, 8 p.m. at Kraft Stadium. Then the IFL goes up north for the weekend. We have the Sabres at the North Stars on Friday in Shlomi, and the Hammers at the Underdogs on Saturday night in Athlete. A northern weekend for the IFL following the Lions Rebels semifinal rematch from last year. I'm getting excited just talking about it, but time has run out for this week. I'm Uriel Sturm on Israel Sports Radio, the Myra Kraft IFL show. Please join us every Monday night from 10 to 11. That's a wrap, folks.